business, ethics, and profit, most of the times, don't go hand in hand. And we have seen disasters happening when businesses follow profit and not ethics. Sadly, in an era where capitalist economy is booming, we are not realizing the side effects of the capitalist economy, which is there on the biotech and pharma industry. Now, any company, any industry has to book profits. Then only the shareholders will invest more, and then only the company grows in the share market. But sadly, some companies start following the profit side more and forget that they are dealing with humans. The profit becomes primary and ethics becomes secondary. And that is where we see scandals. That is where we see disasters in the making. There are 3 to 4 industries where ethics should come first and profit should definitely come second. One is the biotech and pharma industry. Second is the education industry. Third is the health care industry. And the fourth is the agriculture industry. All these 4 industries, if profit starts coming first, then people will be lost. Lives will be lost. And that needs to be changed. Now, at Biotechnica, we believe that the first change happens only when we talk about it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 scandals in the life science and biotech industry, which shook the industry to its core. And at the same time, reiterated, underscored this importance of regulation. Now, many a times you will hear me or other entrepreneurs in the biotech industry that there is so much regulation. But the truth is, why it is there? Because of these scandals which caused havoc. The recent scandal you must have heard of, it's not a scandal yet, but yeah, AstraZeneca has agreed that their Covishield vaccine has side effects, rare side effects, which is a heart disease or, whatnot. So that's one scandal in the making. We have also seen scandals where in the past, like thalidomide incident. But hey, today I'm going to talk about 5 outstanding, mind-blowing scandals which happened at such a scale that nobody could believe. And one of them happened right in front of my eyes when Elizabeth Holmes, who was the founder of a company called as Theranos claimed that they have found out revolutionary blood testing and methodology which gives comprehensive analysis fast. You don't need to wait for so long and you just need a few drops. Now, investors went crazy for it. People were beelining for that product. But the truth was, Theranos was a front end. In the back end, they were still doing the traditional test. She was faking it. And how she faked it for so long is because she hired bureaucrats, people with influence as her officials, who could command and who could suppress the truth. Now, when the investigations happened, later on, they realized that Theranos technology was a bluff. Fundamentally, there was no technology. It was all flawed. It was flawed. The company was systematically misleading the investor, the doctors, and the patients. Just because the founder decided that profit comes first, this was the biggest scandal in the history of United States of America in the healthcare domain. The idea was great, no doubt. It would have been a game-changer initiative to make healthcare accessible to all, faster, cheaper, and more effective, more efficient. But the consequence, the method which she followed was wrong. Instead of innovating, she just thought, okay, let's just claim it, even though it doesn't exist. The consequences were devastating. The Theranos scandal rattled the entire share market, entire investors, and massive financial and reputational damage was caused to the investors. Various investors lost millions of dollars. Patients received inaccurate test results, and it led to serious implications. It could have led to more serious implications if it was not detected early. Now, the downfall of Theranos was followed with the arrest of both the founders of Theranos, and it eroded the public trust of United States of America into biotech and life science companies. And that was the biggest loss to all of us. Now, followed by that, the second most controversial scandal in the modern biotech industry which we saw was recently when there was a CRISPR baby controversy in China. So scientists went ahead and claimed that we have CRISPR technology now and have used it to cure the HIV in this particular baby. So that particular gene was altered. In 2018, this Chinese scientist, He Jiankui, claimed to have created the world's first genetically edited babies using CRISPR after altering the DNA of the embryo. People who don't have any knowledge about CRISPR would have thought, oh, wow, great. But people who had knowledge about CRISPR, scientists and specialists, experts, knew one thing, that CRISPR is still not precision gene editing tool. It can do mistakes. And those mistakes can lead to mutations. Those mutations can lead to furthermore other genetic diseases. So he was criticized, and this particular, he was in fact imprisoned, and global scientific community criticized this particular thing because it is unethical, and the scandal significantly set back the progress of gene editing technology research, and it highlighted the urgent need of having regulation. So this was really, really bad for the biotech and pharma. Now, like Theranos, where the claim was to develop a technology that could run comprehensive tests with just few drops of blood, here also he just went and overstepped. He said that, okay, I have CRISPR technology, I can go ahead and edit the embryo's gene and I can cure the HIV. But he did not understand the implications. He overstepped that. And followed by that, this consequence lead to, of course, he was criticized, his license was cancelled, he was imprisoned, he was sentenced to 3 years of prison in China. But what happened to the entire industry? The entire industry was pushed back, because now for any kind of gene editing, you need massive regulation, and the governments will be more skeptical about it. So that's the scandal number 2. Now remember, with each scandal, the industry moves one step back. The progress goes one step back. So that is why scandals are bad for any industry. It leads to more regulation. More regulation means more tough time for the entrepreneurs, for the companies, and that should not happen. The third scandal which I have for you is the stem cell research misconduct, which happened with Hwang Woo-suk. So he was a scientist in South Korea, and he claimed to have developed a technique to create human embryonic stem cells through cloning. Now, it was discovered that Hwang had fabricated the results in his research papers, and in 2 landmark articles which he published in the Science in 2004 and 5, it was all fake data. The fallout was Hwang's research was discredited, he lost his reputation. This led to his dismissal from his university position, and it led to a serious setback to the credibility of stem cell research worldwide. Now, what Hwang Woo-suk thought was shortcuts. And this shortcut led to massive criticism by the scientific community, and at the same time, it pushed the progress of this particular technology by decades. The fourth one is really scary, and I'm sure you must have heard of it, or you would have seen in some series with names changed. But let me tell you, it is Pfizer, the mega company which did a blunder. So they had the Trovan trial in Nigeria. Pfizer, as we know, is a global pharmaceutical company, and they were trying to treat meningitis in Nigeria in 1996. And they administered a drug called as Trovan, which is an experimental antibiotic, to children without adequate permissions and consent from their parents. And this led to, and of course, they didn't explain the risk involved to the parents. And later on, it was alleged that this trial led to deaths of children and serious adverse effect in those who survived. Legal action was taken against Pfizer. Pfizer faced lawsuits and eventually settled with the Nigerian government with a $75 million of compensation. Well, compensation cannot justify mistakes. Compensation cannot justify scandals, and that pushed the industry by decades again. Now, the fifth one which I have for you is from Monsanto. So Monsanto's PCB pollution and the misinformation around it is the scandal. Now, Monsanto was an agrochemical company which has been now acquired by Bayer as we speak. And they had a product called as polychlorinated biphenyl, which is called as PCB as a short form. It was used widely in electrical equipment, heat transfer fluids, and other applications. According to the internal documents of Monsanto, it was revealed that Monsanto was aware of the carcinogenic risk associated with PCBs long before they were stopped from production in 1977. Now, PCBs caused extensive environmental pollution, and this is linked to various health problems in humans and wildlife. And this led to numerous lawsuits against Monsanto, and they had to pay millions of dollars in settlement to come out of the PCB contamination. Now, I just told you tip of the iceberg. There are many more scandals out there. But let me ask you a question. Do you think pharmaceutical and biotech companies put profit first and ethics later? Let me know in the comment section. Recently, we had the electoral bond issue in the government of India versus other opposition parties. This data was revealed that pharmaceutical companies gave electoral bonds. They paid the current government, probably, allegedly, to get kickbacks, to get approvals in regulation. Now, what if this can lead to another damage to our citizens of this country and the world? Similarly, we are right now seeing Nestle and other companies, they're adding extra sugar only in the Indian products, children products. Why are they making our children addicted to sugar? At the same time, we are seeing Everest and MDH getting into a scandal right now as we speak. The food scandal right now, wherein there is ethylene oxide, which is a carcinogen, which is found in their masalas. Imagine what happens when companies put profit first and ethics later. People die. And who will pay the price of that? Their families. So it is high time that we make our family members aware about the implications of all such things. If we make them aware that there is a lobby which pushes things forward, it may not be true. Always take the treatment with a pinch of salt. Always cross-verify if the treatment which is being prescribed to you is right. And always be careful, because our environment is constantly being polluted with carcinogens such as ethylene oxide or PCBs, or for that matter, if in case you are signing up for a clinical trial, you should know that this can lead to some kind of side effects. You should always be aware, and you should make your family aware, because each time somebody loses their life because of scandals like this, then families suffer and ultimately the country suffers. Thank you so much for watching this video. Spread it with all your friends, family members, so that they're aware what happened, so that they can be aware, they can make right decisions if in case they are shown this kind of situation. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.